slow it down, slow it down. We are wild and young, and we have just begun. So slow it down, you move a little too fast. You take a deep breath, you make this last. And these should be the best days of your life. So right tonight, I say we are wild and young.
Hello people and welcome to IWPC 316 here on YouTube, as I've decided to sit down and make a quite short video looking at how I personally think that WWE need to be moving forward. And unlike a lot of rants that I've seen in the last couple of days, I'm going to take this from a very clear and perspective point of view. People like John Cena, Randy Orton, Dave Bautista, them three in particular, because they're the three that really always seem to got the pushes. Even though Dave went away for a while, he's back now. But John Cena and Randy Orton, them two really in particular, all I gotta say is two words: thank you. Not a popular opinion, I know. Look, I've never been a John Cena fan. I was a Randy Orton fan, but I think his work became very, very stale. But thank you. They gave a lot to the business. John Cena helped the business where nobody else would stick up. It's not a popular decision, and personally I wish it never was the case, but John Cena was the top guy in an era when pretty much nobody wanted to be the top guy, or no one really tried to be the top guy. Up until CM Punk laid a pipe bomb on the stage in Las Vegas, nobody really put themselves forward as much as they were. People were just happy to sit in the back and have a nice little run and then get jobbed to John Cena. The list is endless and endless and endless. But I really think now it's after becoming a time. 10 years. I know John Cena and Randy Orton have been in the WWE for 12, but they have been at the top for 10. And I think it's time for a change. That being said, and this is not coming from a hateful place or a place where I'm going to shout and roar saying Cena can't wrestle 5 moons of doom or Orton is as stiff as a wooden plank. It's time. It seriously is time. If the business is ever going to evolve and move forward and become something fresh and unique, it's time these two go. Take Dave Bautista with you. Dave Bautista has been as much as a failure as Scott Steiner was in his return. It's not what wrestling fans wanted to see. Sure, you always get people screaming around on the Twitter and Facebook saying, well, we want to see Dave Bautista return. Dave was never that good to begin with. He had a good match with The Undertaker, but what average wrestler, if he stepped into the ring with The Undertaker where how good he was, wouldn't have had a good match? Dave wasn't that good. It was all through nostalgic classics with Dave. Everyone was remembering the heel promos, but nobody was remembering the heel matches. Nobody was remembering that him and Rey Mysterio had terrible matches, or him and John Cena had a god-awful match in Arizona. Like most people, when they think of WrestleMania 26, would think of, well, Vince and Brett stunk out the place. Well, you knew what you were getting with the two of them. Okay, maybe they got too much time. But go back and watch that Dave Bautista John Cena match. It is awful. For two guys that were supposed to be at the top of their game, it was awful. I don't even go on about the matches that happened after WrestleMania 26, because they were just cringe-worthy. You had one match ending with duct tape. You had the other match with him airing him off a car straight through the Titantron area. Look, when you really sit down and think about it, John Cena, yes, he's done a lot for the business. And if you're going to say he didn't, then you are just a plain hater. Look, I was a fan for around 4 months of him. I liked a small bit of Thuganomic gimmick, but that was about it. But I can acknowledge that John Cena was the face of the company when it wasn't at its greatest. Is John Cena to blame for that? Partly yes and partly no. Because when you're in that position, then you have to fight for the company to be better. Do you really think when Stone Cold Steve Austin was in that position, or Hulk Hogan was in that position, they were like, whatever you have for me, I do, and I won't put any thought process? Bullshit. Austin was one of the biggest particulars ever about his characters. Christ, that's why he walked out of the company, because he thought they were pissing on his character. Hulk Hogan, it came from a bad place, but Hulk Hogan always wanted to work with the best. He always wanted to work with Sergeant Slaughter, or people like Andre the Giant, or the Ultimate Warrior. Now, what I mean it's come from a bad place is that usually Hulk just wanted to work with him to bury him, but at least he was working with new and fresh people. When John Cena works with somebody new now, it's getting to a stage where it's just killing their momentum. Bray Wyatt should not have lost last Sunday. Fact. It was a stupid, idiotic, moronic, if you're going to go down that road, decision by WWE. John Cena's time is up. He's had a good run. 10 years is a long time to be top of any wrestling promotion, but it's also too long. You want to see new feuds, you want to see new storylines, you want to see new guys getting new opportunities. Look, as much as we all love Daniel Bryan, hey, maybe this guy isn't the saving grace of World Wrestling Entertainment. But what if he is? What if Daniel Bryan is the guy that could take the company forward? What if CM Punk was the guy 2 years ago? But what did they do with Punk? They never gave him a chance. Sure, they gave him the belt, but they might as well have given him the IC belt the way they treated him with the belt. They never ever pushed him to be that guy. With Bryan, they're kind of doing it, but you can still see the focus on, well, when John Cena deals with the Wyatts, he's coming back for Bryan. It's like a thing like that John Cena hasn't been removed from the title picture. It's just that he's distracted, because he was still going for the belt at Royal Rumble, and he was still going in Elimination Chamber when the Wyatts interfered. So it's not like he just decided, well, I'm going to pursue this avenue. It's like he's been distracted. And I'm talking in wrestling terms, yes, I know it's all storylines, but what I'm saying is that after he's done with the Wyatts, what's there for John Cena to do? He's going to go after the Undisputed Championship. And that's something nobody wants to see. Win, lose, or draw. John Cena's time is up. You look at the great roster the WWE have now. Like, people can go on about, well, TNA is the best wrestling promotion around. Maybe on the surface you're right, but for potential, if WWE had someone with a bit of brains and a bit of balls, they could turn this around and become as good, if not better, than the Attitude Era within 2 years. You got a tag division that can really prosper if you don't just decide to break everybody up after 3 or 4 months, which in fairness they haven't done. I know they broke up the Real Americans, but everyone expected the Shield to be broke up, or the Rhodes brothers to be broken up, them two in particular. Now, what happened with the Real Americans is that they were a tag team that was stuck together. Like, Jack Swagger was doing his thing, Cesaro was doing his own thing, and they were brought together by Sepp Coulter. They were never really a tag team traditional team. Now, you could say that a lot about the Shield, but when the Shield debuted, they debuted as a unit. That's one side to look at. The tag division is as good, I think, as we've ever seen it. You got the Ascension still to come up from NXT, and you can have 1 or 2 more teams. You can really build a very good tag division. If you threw Tyson Kidd in with Kofi Kingston, make a tag team out of that. They're not doing anything. You have your high-flying acrobatic moves by Kofi Kingston, and then you have your grounded mat wrestling with Tyson Kidd. You have Cesaro, someone I just went on about there. Like, I have never been so impressed with anyone. He is just so impressive to watch. Like, okay, he has unbelievable strength, but his ring psychology and the way he works matches is something unbelievable to watch at times. Like, if he had a program with Daniel Bryan, maybe the first match won't draw, But when people hear about how good the first match was, then the second match will draw. And that's something that WWE really got to work on now, because when you have the WWE Network, if you start putting out good quality wrestling, then the wrestling fans will pay the $10. But if you're just going to put out childish feuds of John Cena screaming about his legacy, even though we know he's a first-bound Hall of Famer, then you're not going to entice anybody. Let's talk about The Shield. These three guys are just awesome together and awesome individually. Like, WWE have really put themselves into a hole with these three guys, because you have three of the best individuals in your main roster, but you have to keep them together because of how good they are together. It's a catch-22. If you break them up, okay, you're getting three great individuals, but you're also losing a great stable. The Wyatt family is in a different predicament, because you just can't take Luke and Harper away from Bray Wyatt, because they will actually fall. It's not against them two guys, but they're not at the level of what the Shield are, but it's the gimmick that works for them. It's such a sick and demented gimmick, and it's so entertaining to watch. It's a different side of WWE. It's not flashy, it's not childish, it's just sick and demented. A guy who just wants to destroy the heroes of the world. He wants to destroy the good guys. Like, I personally think this would have been a great way to write John Cena out for a few months. The Wyatts did it. They got rid of the ultimate hero, the ultimate good guy. What better way to build a villainous platform than that? And Daniel Bryan, what more do you have to say? This guy is after skyrocketing so much. But there's not just that. You have people like Dolph Ziggler. Like, Dolph Ziggler should be getting way more chances than he's getting. Except he's been stuck on superstars, and God knows why. Look at the NXT. Like, the one problem with NXT, and I will point that out now, is that with the WWE Network having NXT on it every week and people subscribing to the WWE Network, NXT is getting a lot more eyeballs on it. It's a good and bad thing. It's a good thing that more people are being exposed to NXT. It's a bad thing that people will get now promoted too early. Adam Rose is a great example of that. Adam Rose has only debuted on NXT a month ago. Like, I know this guy has been wrestling for a long time, but the Adam Rose character is only around 6 weeks old in the ring. And they're bringing him up to the main roster because he's getting buzz. It's a good and bad thing. Like, would it work so well for Bray Wyatt if he came up after a month? No, because he had to work on that gimmick and grow that gimmick and perfect that gimmick. And that's the problem I have too with Adam Rose. If they're going to bring him up too early, maybe this gimmick is just a fan. Maybe this is just another Brodus Clay and Fandango. Fandango is another person who, okay, his gimmick is not the best of all time, but the guy can go in the ring. Kofi Kingston needs to be given chances. There's a lot of Cody Rhodes. That guy can seriously go. WWE have a fantastic roster. I would actually go as far as say WWE has as good as a roster now as they had in 1989. It's just in 1989 they had to use it. And back in 1999, WWF at the time had balls. And that's all it's going to take. It's going to take someone to say, well, how much longer are we going to rely on John Cena and Randy Orton? Because Randy Orton to me has been the biggest waste of potential I've ever seen. Randy Orton, as they run it down our throats on DVDs and documentaries about Randy Orton all the time, and I admit it, he has such great fluency in the ring, but it's like he just never cared. Like, you hear him in the documentary, like he never really wanted to be a wrestler. It's just something he was forced to do, and he was born with a gift. He just didn't want the shagging thing. It was a paycheck. It always has been a paycheck to Randy Orton. That's the worst mentality to have. Randy strolled down his whole career. Randy should have been driving to be number one, driving to improve. Like, for the mother of God, how long now is it that he stepped into OVW and he still can't put put an entertaining promo out. Even his stuff he was doing with his anger attacks, whatever he was calling them, IED or some crap like that, even they were boring. He just could never cut a promo, and that is absolutely sad to see, because I think anyone that's in the profession like that, if they're not good in a certain aspect, they should improve. Go to the guys in the back, go to the old timers and say, listen, this is what I'm doing wrong, help me. But he never did. My bottom line here is, because I don't want to rant too much, is that I think that WWE need to show some balls and needs to go with the future. Because I don't want to leave on a cliche, but the future is now, if they choose it to be. Yes, it won't be an overnight thing of just, well, they're out the door, here's the new guys, look at our ratings, look at our buy rates, look at our merchandise. Yeah, of course you're going to have a slump. I'm not naive enough to think that. But when you start putting a good product out there, you start putting good matches, some good storylines, people are being engaged again by the product. Maybe it might take a year, maybe it might take 18 months. But eventually people are going to realise this is getting better. This is not just a bunch of individuals showing up looking for a paycheck. A bunch of guys hiding in the back. Because how long have we been watching wrestling? I know I've been watching it since I was 4 years of age. How long have you been watching it? It's gone to a stage now you can see people are out there just not to get hurt and to collect the paycheck. Well, that has been my opinion. I really think WWE need to start moving in a new direction. Please check the link below for my podcast where I actually discuss WrestleMania 30 in detail. Until the next time, take care.
Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Enjoy yourself while you're still in the pink. The years go by as quickly as a wink. Enjoy yourself, it's later than you think.